Turn that down a little bit. Okay, so I'm studying. I'm working through the intro of this still. And I've been doing a lot of Google researching on other things as well. I'm learning a lot about Saint Augustine or Augustine, however you want to pronounce it. I've found that people pronounce it both ways. But he's from Hippo, Africa. He's the Bishop of Hippo, Africa, is where he became famous in the Catholic Church. Anyways, so we're going to recap. Picking the saint it has to be unique for me. It had to match me, but it's not really often you're going to get a saint to match you this much. And then I'm going to give you testimony that happened the other night, which was completely insane. So if you're on social media, this is going to be a split part series. Otherwise, I'm just recording this for myself so I can look back at it and remember this moment. That's really what this serves as. But I'm going to share it. So I got into Saint Augustine after looking at other saints, and I said, I need to find a Gnostic Catholic convert. And I did. Ended up being, as we've said before, he studied many philosophers, but he really fell in love with Plato. Well, that was my go-to philosopher as well, as I mentioned before, especially the Allegory of the Cave, of course. I actually used that piece specifically to help me understand myself and why I was so different from so many people after coming home from war and being into the topics I'm into, and to help me understand others that didn't understand where I was coming from. That put a big spotlight in my healing process for me. It took a long time, 9 years. But then we moved on to Gnosticism. So Gnosticism, for me, was a long endeavor. It's literally, here we go, right here. This is my Bible that I studied for years and years and years. And one of my favorite go-tos in here, it's been a while, was the Gospel of John. And I literally go through, I don't know if you can see, the highlighter is way faded by now, but I literally would highlight and I would create formulas just as if you would do for anything else. And then I would apply those to my life to make me a better person, to help heal me as well. But anyways, so Saint Augustine was a Gnostic and a follower of Plato's teachings before he became Catholic. The same scenario as me. That's what drew me to him. So as I continued to read the introduction of this book, I learned some things from him. I learned that he was bishop in Africa, which is really no correlation to me that I know of. But we know about Plato, we know about Gnosticism. He comes from a family that's also split. His dad was a pagan, his mom was a Catholic. Well, my dad was a Catholic. My mom was born Catholic, but she practiced witchcraft, which opened the doors for me to seeing different things as kids that typically a Catholic wouldn't want their children to be around, to be honest with you. But it was educational for me, and it opened up my eyes. It gives me an opportunity to understand other people from those backgrounds that not many in the Catholic culture are going to, because they're going to dismiss them right away. So I appreciate that. But then we move on. So then other things that I looked into was the Order of Augustine. The Order of Augustine actually happens to be, if you know me, I'm very proud in being an American Filipino descendant. My grandma's from the Philippines. My dad's half Filipino, half white. And then me and my brothers are from my dad. So what does that make us? A quarter Filipino? But we were raised by my grandmother, which is strict Filipino. And so we received a very strict Filipino culture, which I will forever be proud of. However, Saint Augustine happens to have a monastic order after him named the Order of Saint Augustine. And they were the first to evangelize the Philippines, or the Filipinos, to Christ. That was so evangelization of Filipinos, study of Manichaeism, Gnosticism, for the same amount of time, about a decade, and then being a follower of Plato. So far we have those things in common. Then after I look further into it, I'm reading in the introduction, and then I come to find out that Saint Augustine converted at the age of 33. It was a big deal in his life. Converted from Gnosticism to Catholicism, just as I'm doing. Well, last year I was 33, and last year was the year that me and my wife started attending Catholic and Orthodox masses down in Arizona. And we were supposed to attend a conversion program there. However, we moved up here, and we're doing it here now, and we'll be converted as of this year. So age was also a phenomenal thing. 33, we start our path, or I start my path, and then he converted at the age of 33 as well. The other thing that I want to share is pretty crazy. A lot of things have been happening. My wife has been looking for her patron saint. That patron saint happens to be Saint Monica. I'm not sure if she's still got to do studies to find the relation. I'm not sure really how that's going to play out. But as of right now, my wife has been doing research, and Saint Monica happens to be the one she's really feeling. So we did research on to see who Saint Monica was. Saint Monica is the mother of Saint Augustine. It's pretty crazy because that wasn't intended at all. I don't even, we're not sure where she's going with her saint just yet, but if that's the one, that's pretty nuts because everything that we found to pair my wife to a saint didn't mention Saint Augustine until we started doing research on this saint, Saint Monica. And it's a really good work. But I want to tell you about a dream I had the other night. So, previous posts, I posted all my worries, and something's always been missing, right? Well, the other night I had a dream, and in this dream, all of my worries you could imagine were taking place. Everything from losing my spouse to I actually don't have that many worries, but losing my spouse, if you're in the military, I remember for some reason I was having the initial fear of losing my weapon and losing my IBA when I was out in combat. Just like all these weird worries I've had throughout life kind of came to a close because in that dream, now it wouldn't be common for me to honestly have a dream of this type of priest, and there's nothing wrong that I did, but it's unique. I had a dream that a black priest came to me during my time in the service, and he took away all of my worries. He accepted me for who I was. He brought me under his wing, and then he ordained me a Knight of Constantine. I'm not sure what that means yet, but we'll get to that. But anyway, so then before I actually knew that Saint Augustine of Hippo was from Africa, it wasn't until I was reading this earlier that's where Saint Augustine comes. So I kind of feel like in my dream, this black priest that took me under his wing and dissolved all of my worries and became one with me in a weird way. I was like, why was I dreaming about a black priest? Because I've never had a black priest in any of my parishes, and if I did, I wouldn't care, to be honest with you, because we're all sons of God no matter what. So just putting that out there. But it was still unique, as I said. And then the next morning I'm reading this, and then I find out he was the bishop of Hippo, but Hippo is in Africa, which is primarily a black ethnic country. So now I got to do research to find out if it's possible if St. Augustine is in fact actually black or of dark skin, probably. So I thought that was cool. I thought that if there's a connection, I still have to do, I would like to do skin color and genetic research on St. Augustine. And I honestly don't care what color he is, but I would find it very spiritual and meaningful if he indeed is that, or if that was just simply the connection that he's the Bishop of Africa, and maybe that's that, and maybe that's the testimony, is he's letting me know, like, hey, I'm here, I got you, I'm gonna take care of you, you're good, you're golden, no more worries, because I've been feeling great since. But he has done a lot for me right here so far, and I'm only in the introduction of this. So I can't wait to get through this. So actually, I think I'll continually read it even after I read it. And then I'll get into his City of God. I found out those are not his City of God books. Those are the City of God books by another saint, female Saint Mary. And these books are actually written about Virgin Mary, I believe. So I actually have to get another collection. I think I'll get them from the Word on Fire series by Bishop Barron. So yeah, I think it's super cool to have such a connection, because like I said before, I don't really connect with a lot of people. I have to like break my connections up and distinguish differences, like veteran group here, fraternal brothers here, church goers here, historical people here. But then I don't really 100% like relate with everybody. So I'm kind of like, even though I get along and I can put forth ideas and I have, great conversations, I don't truly ever become one with anybody. But Saint Augustine, I feel I have become one with him. It's pretty cool, man.